Peace. It's your man Money B from Digital Underground, repping the Bay all day. And of course, I'm chilling with the big homie, Sean Stockmans. On that note, you bitch.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of On That Note. I'm your host, Sean Stockman. And of course, as you know, or if you don't know, this is the place where we speak a language we all understand, and that is music. My guest for today is one of the original members of the legendary multi-platinum band Digital Underground. His rap style and hit records like I Get Around with the immortal Tupac Shakur, and creating groundbreaking albums like Sex Packets with the incomparable Shock G, aka Humpty Hump, you know the guy, that featured classics like Do What You Like and the Humpty Dance, helped usher the Bay Area sound to global notoriety. In 2025, he's still dropping music, and now being a vet in the game, he's also dropping jewels on life and the music industry, and we're going to get into all that. This is a very well-versed human being here, ladies and gentlemen. He is a legend in his own right. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for an Oakland icon, Ronald Brooks, a.k.a. Money B. Come on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
That was a hell of an intro. Somebody record that?
It was recorded.
Yeah, we got a few cameras
Yeah,
here.
you know.
Yeah, we got it all on tape.
That could be my new theme music.
Yeah, man. How
Intro.
you been?
I'm good, man.
Everything cool?
You look good.
As do you.
Yeah.
You haven't changed a bit. Well, we grew a couple grades.
You know how it is. Wisdom.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mistakes.
Yep.
Stress. All that, but we still here, and
Yep.
that's a good thing,
Still
man.
doing it.
Good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know this, or maybe you do if you're a fan of Digital Underground and specifically Money B. But even though he's most known for being a part of the Bay Area sound and the Bay Area music, Money B is actually originally from Philly, like me.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
North Philly, stand up.
North Philly, stand up. You know, I have I laugh with my group members because, you know, we're all from Philly.
Right.
And
South Philly, right?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Nate is from South.
Mhm.
Michael was from Logan.
Okay.
Wanye was from North.
Okay.
He was at Richard Allen
Oh,
Projects.
really? Okay.
Yeah. He was the grime. And
Yeah.
I'm from Southwest Philly. Now, if you take do a list of all of the really famous people that came out of Philadelphia,
Mhm.
Will Smith came from West Philadelphia, born and raised on the play, you know, that whole thing. Jill Scott's from North.
Right.
Meek Mill is from North. I think Jeff is from South, if I'm not mistaken.
What about
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Siegel,
Beanie Siegel's from North.
right?
I say all this to say, I'm the only person from Southwest Philadelphia that
Straight up.
actually made it kind of big.
You
I'm
sure?
the only guy. Like
Where's DJ Cash Money from?
Cash Money from Southwest. I think he's from West Philly. But see, that's my point. Everybody's either from West. See, you got to understand the geography of Philadelphia, right?
Yep.
You got North, you got South, you got West, all that. Big areas. Southwest is relatively small compared to, I would call it the Bronx of Philadelphia,
Okay.
right? Where before you get to the swamp, we're the stop when you drive by and then you see the swamp and you see the airport.
Ah.
That's how deep in Philadelphia I was in. So there was nobody there that you wouldn't have any notoriety because it's such a small area. And like I said, everybody, like you from North, like everybody's from North Philly.
Have they given you a street there yet?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
you
called
do?
Boys to Men Boulevard.
No, but Sean Stockman Boulevard.
No, they haven't. I don't expect them to. but
I have
yeah.
a story about that too. When I was a kid, so my my aunt, who I used to spend a lot of time in the summer with,
Mhm.
she lived on Wendell Street, which is over there, they call it Badlands,
Mhm.
like 7th and Clearfield.
Mhm.
And I remember as a kid, we used to be walking, I don't know what street it was, but every time we walked by, my older cousins would be like, yeah, that's the house Teddy Pendergrass used to live in.
Mhm.
So right
Yeah.
there, we used to walk past
Yeah.
Teddy P's old house.
And Teddy's from North Philly.
Yeah.
Everybody's from North, West, or South.
All
And
the
here you got
boxes.
little old me from the slums,
Right.
which is because, see, a lot of people get it misconstrued too. A lot of people think that, at least with my guys, that we all like grew up in the suburbs because of our persona with the
Right.
bow ties and the being able to articulate ourselves and things like this. You would think we went to college, but we all came from the grimy ass ghetto, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
So for those of us not from Philly, what would the California reference be for North Philly and Southwest Philly? Like what would the reference be?
well, it's
I think it changes.
It does change.
Well,
It does
like with
change.
anywhere. So think about LA, right? Like where is it over the Echo Park used to be what it was. It's gentrified. Now it's not anymore. Same with Oakland. West Oakland used to be grimy, grimy, grimy. When they figured out it was closest to San Francisco, they pushed everybody out.
Right.
And now it's different.
Yeah.
So depending on the year that he's talking about, it changes.
It's true. Because
Right?
my group member Nate, he's from 17th and Christian.
Mm.
And that's in South Philly, deep in Center City. Now, that same apartment that he grew up in and didn't have any gas or water at times and things of that nature is now like a $3 million apartment.
Yeah.
Because it's right in Center City. So you know how that go. They wanted to make sure that those people were able to get
Like
to
what they're doing to Inglewood now.
To get to downtown. So they push,
Right.
they push, over the years, and it's a 20, 30 year process, right?
Yeah.
So you look up and next thing you know, it's like, what?
Yeah, it is crazy. But and it's so funny that they're all doing it at the same time
Mm-hmm.
in all of the hoods in America.
Yep,
Right?
because my grandmother used to live right up, well, it used to be Columbia Avenue, now Cecil B. Moore,
Mm-hmm.
by Temple.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that used to be wild.
Yeah,
But because it's by Temple,
Temple
over
University.
time they cleaned it up.
it's beautiful.
And it's an area, but it wasn't like that,
Yeah.
back then.
Whenever you see white people walking their dogs
Yeah,
in
that's
the
when
street,
you know
you're in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, it's your-
I y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it's safe to say that if you see a white woman
That's the confirmation.
with some Lululemons on
and a poodle.
and her poodle
Yeah.
with a
And
Starbucks cup in her
Yeah,
hand,
and it's-
you're in a good
And
neighborhood.
wait, and it's about to get dark.
Yes.
It's safe. It's
And
safe.
it's about to get dark. Yeah,
You're
it's safe.
like-
You good.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Oakland, like there's
You
the
can leave the
Acorn
doors unlocked.
Projects.
Yeah.
They used to be like, I couldn't go over there.
Hell no.
And last time I was over here, like you said, I seen this white lady walking her, and I was like, okay,
Oh yeah, you're in a
Okay.
nice. You're good.
okay.
You see the Whole Food sign across.
Yeah.
The You're good. You're in a safe space. You're like,
All the signs are there.
right. You see Tesla charging ports. Like, you're in a nice
We're in the
space.
house.
But anyway, hey man.
I know.
Again, once
Y'all
again, good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you on the show. Now, I always like to start my show off with a segment called We Like to Go Back, Way Back in the Time. All right. Now, first off, because you're from Philadelphia, at the age of 9 or 10, because I know you did a lot of commuting from east to west, where did you stay the most? Like, where were you, I guess, where would you hibernate the most? Where was your hub around that age? Was it Oakland or was it Philly?
Well, let me just give you the history, because like when you tell Philly people, they like to run with the Philly part of it. And I always say,
We
like,
can't help it.
because that's where my family's from. But the only reason I don't super claim it is because I didn't grow up, like, I didn't
Got
go
it.
to school. I went to school a couple of times in Philly, but I didn't
Understand.
go to high school in Philly. And that's where you become
Your
who
formative
you-
years.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the formative years. And I always tell people I dream in Oakland. You know what I mean? So when I'm not thinking in my mind, like if my mind is speaking to me, it has a Bay Area slang. So, but I know my way around Philly. I can get around and I can tell you about,
Mhm.
it. So that being said, my father, he was in the Black Panther Party.
Right.
He joined the Black Panther Party in 71-ish or
Okay.
something. And then there's a story behind that. But I don't know if you know your history. There was a big thing where they raided and they had everybody outside.
Of course.
And and something happened with Huey, I forget. But anyway, they asked him to go to Oakland. That's where Huey, that's where the main
The chapter,
headquarters
the main hub,
to go help out there. So he left, and then he came back and got me and my mom, I want to say 72 or 73.
Mhm.
So I was like 3 or 4 years
Yep.
old when we
Mhm.
actually moved to the
Okay.
Bay Area.
Okay.
And then from there, I would just go back like every summer to stay with my grandmother.
Mhm.
So I would spend my summers on the East Coast.
So around 9 or 10, you kind of painted the picture. You were
Mhm.
a Panther cub, and your father was a part of, in my opinion, one of the greatest organizations, not just Black organizations, but organizations in American history. But it had, it was a lot of soul there. There had to be some music around. So paint the picture.
Okay.
Let me know at 9 or 10 what was being played around the house, around the administrative buildings. Like what were you listening to that inspired your music journey to eventually become who you are today?
So growing up, there was always music playing. There was always there was always a record on a record player.
Yeah.
Or the radio was on. So, it was it was Marvin Gaye, it was Earth, Wind and Fire, it was Stevie Wonder. And I always tell the story of, so my dad, he has younger siblings. They used to stay with my grandmother when I would go, right? And so I was probably 9 or 10, and my older uncles and aunt, they were probably in their late teens, early 20s. But I just remember, you had the 45 records. They had a bunch of 45s. And I used to always look at them and be like, why all these records got this little ugly man on it, like a little monkey-looking man.
Right.
It was like a red record. And then as I got older, it was James Brown records. Because James Brown always had his picture it was like, I think it was Polygram he was signed to. But if you go back and you see the old 45s, James Brown had his picture, his face on every one of his records.
Right.
And I used to always like, who is this little, as a kid, I'm like, why is this monkey looking on this record? Not knowing, you know what I mean? But that's what was around.
It was just James Perm. That's what it was.
Well, shit, you just. And mind you, it's in not black and white, but it's like a line drawing.
Yeah.
So it's not filled out. It's just black.
I see.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can just see the lines of a face with the stuff in it.
Yeah.
So
I dig. So James Brown, Marvin, basically the standard shit.
Yeah, the standard. You know what it is. And then, if we take it further, as I got a little older, like 11 and 12, right? Back home when I stayed with my dad. Now, mind you, they used to call my mother and father the oldest teenagers in the world because they just was always popping, house parties. So I was always around it like that. So when I got 11 or I was like 11-ish, I stayed with my dad.
Yeah.
Right. And he introduced me to like The Clash and Devo and because he was into like his roommate was into punk rock, but he liked other kind of records.
Yeah.
Not just the soul, like the standards that we know.
Yeah.
So I grew up with David Bowie and all of that stuff.
All
so
beautiful.
I had a Cameo. What's his name? Cars.
Yeah.
We had those. Like we literally had all that vinyl.
Hell yeah.
We had it.
That's the good shit.
Yeah. So and even people don't remember, but back in, I guess you could say 78 when he came out, Prince was controversial.
Yes.
And people that liked Prince, people looked at you like, it's funny.
Right.
Like, what? You like that?
Yeah.
Because the way he used to dress and all of that.
Yes.
And my dad used to like Prince. So my friends, come over and play Atari. They'd be like,
yeah.
Why your dad play Prince and all that? I was like, it's dope.
Yeah. Prince was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was.
He used a lot of he was very experimental with his sounds and his approach musically.
Yes.
His songwriting was very androgynous and the whole 9 yards. So a lot of people were kind of like, what the,
you had to be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
To be.
But at the end of the day, as you got older, you realized that Prince was just a mad scientist.
Yeah,
he was a genius. Here's a fun fact, kids. A lot of people tend to think that punk rock was just like for white people or whatever. But the truth is, one of the forefathers of punk rock was a black band called Death. So I want everybody to, after this show, y'all look it up. It was a 3-man band out of Detroit. And they were one of the progenitors of punk rock music. And the reason why you don't hear about them is because it was a black band that played punk rock music.
Right.
So a lot of people were turned off by it and everything. But that's why when you said these things, that's right up our alley, because a lot of these groups, a lot of these bands, like even the Isleys and all this other stuff, they drew inspiration from folk bands and rock bands and stuff like that. You know.
And then I have to add, like my dad, even when I was little, huge Parliament Funkadelic fan.
Hell yeah.
Super huge. Like I remember when the Mothership tour, right? So that had to be 77, so I was about 7 or 8.
Sir Knows devoid of funk.
And he was joking, like, yeah, I'm gonna take you to the concert, right? And when it was time to go, I was like, what's up? We going to the concert? And he's like, no, you're gonna be asleep. And it was in Philly. We were in Philly.
Okay.
And it was like a super snowstorm. So, and then I remember he went to the concert, and when he came back, I was still up and I was heated. And it took me till I was grown to look back on it. And I was like, it was probably getting high as fuck.
I was about to say, so
because he was kicking it.
Your father probably wasn't lying, because with all the weed smoke, you probably would have fell asleep.
True. Yeah, but look at, knowing what I know now, they was getting high, doing everything they wanted to do, and he was out kicking it.
It was a wild scene.
But in my mind, I was thinking, he said he was going to take me.
I don't think that was for kids.
It was not for kids.
Now, let me go back to this important component of your father being a Black Panther. We don't have to get too deep into it, but I want to shed light on this organization because I've read a lot about it. I've read books on Huey P. Newton. And realizing, because even my knowledge as a kid or as a youngster was a bit askew when it came to the Black Panther Party. They were always painted out to be like these bad guys.
Right.
When you read about what they've done or what they did for the communities around the country, not just Oakland. Oakland was the main hub.
Well, I think you're about to say it.
Yeah, I mean, but I want you to get a picture because you grew up in it. So I want you to kind of describe what it was like being a Panther Cub in that environment and that ecosystem where America was different and social injustice was extremely prevalent, and that organization in general was one of the focal points of Black advancement. What was it like though? Like it was, I heard a lot of good things, but I want you to paint the picture on what it was like to be a part of that organization as a child.
Well, a lot of people don't know is that the Black Panther Party started the free lunch and breakfast program.
Amen.
Which was later adopted by,
the government.
The government. But it started with the Black Panther Party because they wanted to make sure that the kids in the community would eat. And it was breakfast because they were the first ones to figure out a malnourished kid can't focus and think if all they're thinking about is eating.
That's right.
And in those communities, a lot of people couldn't really afford to feed the kids like that. So they started the free breakfast program, the free lunch program. They had after school activities where they would have instructors, teach judo, watch movies. And I'm saying all these things because I've literally experienced it for myself. So I was a part of that.
Yes.
And even with the arts, because, I told you that I went to school in Philly once or twice because my grandmother would keep me and not send me back. And every time that they put me in public school in Philly, they would have to put me like 2 grades ahead because the teaching at the school was an advanced teaching.
And that was thanks to the environment that you grew up in the actual Black Panther Party, or was it?
At the school, the Oakland Community School, the Oakland Community Learning Center that I went to, that was the school that was founded by Huey P. and the Black Panther Party. They taught the kids at an advanced level.
How about that?
Because what they would do is, another thing that they did, they didn't teach you, what to know per se, but they taught you how to learn. Meaning they encourage you to ask questions. And they wanted you to be inquisitive and question things so that we can get to it, as opposed to
Right.
just read that, write that, learn that, and do as we say. So it was a different style of teaching, but it was an advanced teaching, right? And at that time, as it started to spread that it was, people wanted to come see for themselves what that was like. So I actually got to meet Rosa Parks. She came to our school.
How about that?
Wow.
We have pictures. Rosa Parks came to visit our school.
Nice.
Willie Mays came to the school. What's his name? The author. Is it? I always get him mixed up.
Alex B. Haley?
Not James Baldwin.
James. Wow, that'd have been nice. I love James Baldwin.
Was it? It was
Alex Haley?
No, it wasn't Alex Haley.
No,
It might have been James Baldwin. It was one of them.
Okay.
But he came to the school, and we would have plays and things like that. And Stevie Wonder sent his choreographers to the school to teach us. So it was we got to experience that.
So it's like early 80s, give or take?
Mid and late 70s.
Okay.
Because the school closed its doors in 82. And I graduated in 81 from that school. And we didn't have first grade, second grade. It was just group A, B, C, D, E. It went up, and they put you in the group not by your age, but by your aptitude.
Wow.
How about that?
So that's why whenever I would be placed in a public school and they tested me, they would have to put me
higher
grades ahead. And then I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm doing it. But then when I come back.
It's amazing what
back
people
up.
can accomplish when they're not being forced into categories.
Yeah.
When you can just be you and figure out where you belong.
Yeah.
And think freely. Look what you can accomplish.
And it somewhat exposes the systemic way that the government tends to think.
Yeah.
If you're this age, you have to be this and that and the third. And if anything, you're stifling potentially a child's growth and awareness and intelligence.
Yeah.
And you get what you get.
Everything after 5th grade should be electives. Once you can learn to read and write and do simple math, you should be able to figure out what inspires you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Because they'll be like, Jim.
Well,
let me get 4.
But I find
day and age.
I find it interesting that a lot of the pioneers of whether it be music or engineering or whatever, Jim. Hey, he might be they might revolutionize Jim, right? A lot of hoopers. But a lot of people that we tend to look up to are either dropouts or they haven't finished college or anything like that, because
students.
They're from the curriculum side, but their aptitude was so much higher.
Yeah, and some of our, like you said, a lot of our geniuses didn't finish high school.
Because it's boring.
It's boring.
Yeah.
It bores them. It doesn't challenge them. So I'm saying, when I say electives, I mean like there's like creative programs for you to be involved with. You can learn how to, especially now with technology being at the forefront of a lot of what we do, letting these kids let their minds run free and create something special.
Yeah.
You know, especially like you, Sean, your son, Micah's, these kids are incredibly intelligent.
Yes.
But they're very introverted.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you have kids like Micah who can't go to a traditional system because it doesn't benefit them.
Yeah. My son has autism. So one of my sons. And he's very alert. He's active and he wants to do certain things. And the interesting thing about autistic people is that once they lock into something, they perfect it.
Yeah.
Super lock into it.
Yeah. Better than us typical people. Yeah. Like they obsess over certain things, like, and they're perfectionists. And
absolutely, I have a cousin that when he, he's grown now, but I remember when we were younger and he was a kid. It was back in Philly. Mm-hmm. He's like 3 or 4. He could tell you every coach of every team and every state. Like they're
obsessive. Like
they overly.
My son was saying the ABCs backwards at 3.
Right.
Like quick.
Great.
And it was like, say the ABCs, Z, Y, X, W. I was like.
Then go right back.
Yeah. Like, so again, but that's very interesting. I just wanted to touch on that because again, I think a lot of people tend to become misinformed about a lot of American history, specifically Black history. Yeah. And when I think of the Black Panthers and what gets people all ruffled is that one image of them on the government steps with rifles.
Right.
When you realize that was legal.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's why they did it, because
that was legal. That was legal back in
at the
California.
time.
You could
It was a
do
legal
that.
protest,
yeah, it wasn't them
They wouldn't
storming the Capitol.
Right. They didn't storm the Capitol, which was illegal.
Which was illegal. They were actually exercising their right as citizens of the state of California
Correct.
to bear arms. And it's so funny that
Shortly
after that
afterwards.
image, they changed that law.
Yeah,
Was that how you got connected with Pac early on? Because Afeni was a Black Panther as well. Was
not
that
at all.
paths never crossed?
It just happened to
Be that way.
be that way.
Now that's coincidental because obviously Pac, yourself, y'all both in the hip hop. But if I understand correctly, you didn't start off rapping. You were into graffiti first, right?
Graffiti, and then a DJ, because like I said, I grew up around all these records.
It's one of
And I
the
would
two
collect
elements of
them.
hip hop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I would collect them from my cousins, my dad, whoever would give them to me. So really, I thought I was going to be a DJ.
Can you still hit up? You still
Well,
be good?
my tag
Yeah, your tag.
is my autograph. Whenever you see me sign something, that's my
Ah.
original tag.
My brothers, my one brother in particular, Chris,
Mhm.
was a hit up artist. Like
Yep.
used to do it on the street with the Rust-Oleum paint and
Mm.
all that other stuff. And
Yeah.
he would get in
And-
trouble sometimes, but he was good at
Sometimes.
it.
And crazy about that is when it comes to graffiti and tagging, remember I said my dad had younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So my uncle, his younger brother, we called him Dinky, but his tag was King Dink in Philly.
Mm.
And he was known throughout Philly, like in the early 70s, because his tag was on all the SEPTA buses, everything, all throughout the city.
Yeah.
King Dink.
It was heavy. It was heavy in
Mhm.
Philadelphia, where everybody had their hit up tags and the whole 9 yards. It was a fun culture, but unfortunately it got you in a lot of trouble.
When I graduated from the Oakland Community School, right,
Mm-hmm.
I got accepted and I went to a school for arts. So I used to draw and oil paint and everything.
Yeah.
So that's why it led me into
We would
that.
love to see some of your paintings, your art.
My mom has some of that stuff.
Would
back
love to
then.
see some of that. Now, again, being you being a part of an organization like the Black Panthers at a younger age,
Mhm.
it had to have been simple or not as difficult or daunting to be a part of a hip hop group.
Well, yeah, that it prepared me
Mm-hmm.
for it. My childhood prepared me for what I would eventually would do,
Mm-hmm.
because as a child, I was traveling back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
East Coast, West Coast,
Yes.
every summer. And back then is when you could put a kid on the plane by himself.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
that
They would just
Yes.
they
I
would
go
put me
from
on the
Sac
plane,
to
sit in the
LA.
front,
Yeah.
in
Yeah, with the big.
wings,
Yeah. Right.
and,
Yeah.
and your
Uh-huh.
the parent on the other end could actually come to the gate.
Come to the gate,
see
get
you
you
walk
out.
out.
Yes.
Yep.
So traveling as a kid, and then the other thing with the Black Panther Party growing up, because I used to stay in the dormitories,
Mhm.
it was all about community. We always say it takes a village, but that was really how it worked.
Yeah.
So it was always about what was best for the collective.
Yeah.
Was how it always worked.
Yes.
So it was easy for me to survive in a group setting like that, because I was always raised to, conditioned to know and to think that whatever's best for the collective is what's really best for what we're trying to do to get there.
I think it
Right.
showed in the group that you were in, that you were
Mhm.
most famous for, which is Digital Underground.
Right.
Now, but before that, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Raw Fusion come before or
Yes.
after?
Raw Fusion was before.
Okay, and that
And
was with
so-
DJ Fuse,
It was with DJ Fuse, and our original name was MGM,
MGM.
which stood for Mac Moan, who was our other member,
Mm-hmm.
DJ Goldfinger, because that was his name before DJ Fuse,
Okay,
and Money B.
okay,
MGM.
MGM.
And then later on, our manager was like, hey, you should probably change that.
Little copyright
Yeah,
issues.
exactly. So then we came up with
You don't want the Goldwyn family
Raw
to come
Fusion.
after you.
But yeah, we were Raw Fusion. We were shopping our demo and doing talent shows and things like that, while Digital Underground was promoting Underwater Rhymes, which was the first single on Macola Records.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of how we connected, because they needed a DJ And at the time, Fuse was like one of the dopest DJs on the scene, you know, in the Bay Area. And there was a meeting set up. I think Chop Master Jay knew him and Fuse had a mutual friend. They set up a meeting, and at the time, Fuse was renting a room out of my mom's apartment. So we were staying together, and I had the 4-track and the turntables. Yep. You know, we had the whole thing. We was getting it.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to make it happen. And, you know, when they asked Fuse to be in the group, you know, he expressed that, hey, we're a group. I probably would have kicked him out.
Right.
If we did something different. But he's like, yo, you know, I rock with you, but you got to rock with us. So when it started out, we would do the Raw Fusion show opening. And then when the Digital Underground show would start, me and Moan would become the dancers for Digital Underground.
Right.
And Fuse would DJ. Okay. And then a little time after that, then I'd start doing like the hype man, the ad-lib stuff. And then, but that was only, I would say that was only about maybe 6 months. So if you say 6 months, less than a year, because less than a year later, we had recorded Do What You Like, which was the first song that I was on. Right. So when I say that, you know, because I tell people, well, you know, I started out dancing, all that. It was probably like 3 or 4 shows.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's a fun little tidbit, kids. You go to the Humpty dance and you see Money B in the back hitting it.
Yeah, I'm killing it.
I'm killing it.
That was my thing.
Now, Gregory, yes. For those of you who do not know, that's Gregory Jacobs, a.k.a. Shock G, a.k.a. Humpty Hump. Now, was he the head guy? Did he put everybody in together? Because there was quite a few components.
Yeah, it was his vision.
Now, who, in what order did everyone come in? First, second, last, whatever, because there was Pac was in the group. You had Saphir that was in the group.
Right.
You had yourself, Fuse.
Clee.
Okay. Like
Mystic.
So Mystic, right.
Essential.
So when was the first time you met Greg? Shock G, excuse me. Let's just keep it.
Was probably at one of those shows, you know, just seeing him, right? And then I think formally met him at that meeting. And it was funny because, you know, at that time, I'm like maybe 18 and Shock is like 6 or 7 years older than me. So mind you, I'm in my room and this 20-something-year-old man, 2 men walking in the house and they're dressed like Shock G and Chop Master J.
Right.
And my mom is looking like, is he on drugs? Like, what's going on? Like, that don't look like one of your friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, what are these old men doing with my son? And, and you know, he comes walking, he has Pumas on with these tassels hanging off and his beret. And, I'm looking at him like, okay.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I've always been the person that like, live and let live. You know, it's sort of like the Bay Area anyway.
And were you one of the first members in the group?
Really, as a crew, you know, Shock started, you know, he went to high school in Tampa, Florida. Okay. Right? So I think the way that Shock tells me the idea of, you know, his crew, you know, him and Kenny K, right?
Okay.
Were the guys. Kenny K was a DJ in Florida. He came to California, you know, and I'm truncating it for you. Yeah. I think he was like in an R&B band. Okay. Playing keyboards. It was called Spice Regime.
Spice Regime.
Yeah, dudes with Jerry curls and all that stuff.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Spice Regime. But Digital Underground officially, when it, you know, the first record, that was Chop Master J and Shock G. Okay. Right? Then shortly after, me and Fuse. And you could add on Mac Moan because he was part of the collective. Then after that, then Tupac, right? Through Strictly Dope. Around that time, then it was Pee Wee and Gold Money. You know, Pee Wee and Big Money Otis, who was Gold Money. They were signed to Tommy Boy. Then you had Ron East, who was a singer. Okay. And then Sons of the P album. I think Sons of the P was when we introduced Ron East, right? And that was the album that had a lot of George and Michael Hampton in them. That was the the P-Funk album,
Yes.
per se.
Yes.
They came and stayed with us, and they,
Yes.
you know. Then after that that's when Saphir came with the body hat. Saphir and Klee.
Rest in peace, Saphir.
Klee's my cousin from Philly.
Mm-hmm.
After Klee, then there's Mystic and Essential and Element came in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Element Crew from Reno. And I know I'm missing somebody because we're a huge collective.
When did Pac get in?
Yeah.
When did Pac come in?
Pac came, so when we did Do What You Like, Pac was a part of a crew called Strictly Dope.
Mm-hmm.
So he was around, but he was signed to H. Gregory and TNT.
I see.
So it's like, you know how,
Yep.
Boys to Men, ABC,
Right.
BBD,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yes. They were all factions of the same.
Of the same thing.
Yeah.
But they just had their, their
I
own
dig.
thing. So when Strictly Dope disbanded and Atron retained Tupac as a solo artist,
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to find him a deal. And then, and Pac was impatient, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so from what I understand, he threatened to leave and go move to Atlanta and join the new African Panthers and just really forget rap. And Atron was like, yo, I might lose him. Can you guys just take him out on the road with you?
Yeah.
And it was easy because he was already part of the collective. You know what I mean? Like, you know how that is.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, just roll with us.
And
it was funny because my brother, who actually helped invent the actual Humpty dance, he's the other guy. So in the Humpty dance video,
Mhm.
it's me and it's my brother on the other side.
I see. Yeah.
It's us two.
Okay.
He was supposed to go on that tour.
Got it.
So everybody thought I was going to be salty because my brother wasn't going to go.
Right.
And it was like, Shock was like, yo, man, thinking about bringing Pac.
Yeah.
And I was like, my brother don't rap.
Right.
Like, he'll just have to understand.
Right.
I wasn't holding it like that.
No, that's cool.
So
Now,
I was, because he was already part of, he was already our guy.
yeah.
So
Now,
it just worked out.
now Shock G, from what I understand, never met him. Wish I did. He was real prolific on the keys. I heard he was like
Super.
genius level.
Yeah.
Being in the studio with him, recording those great records.
Mhm.
Sex Packets is obviously probably the more popular record, and the one that I was personally introduced to. It was like 89 or something like that, 1989. And where, thanks to Yo MTV Raps, we were exposed to a lot of hip hop across the country.
Yeah.
Because from what all I listened to was East Coast, New York, Philly,
Ram Squad.
and Crown Rulers and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
DJ Miz.
yeah, all of that. And getting my brother and I, getting my hands on the Sex Package record and bugging out on Guts, Crazy Guts,
Yeah.
Gut Fest 89.
Right.
Like, just hearing a lot of that stuff. Like, and hearing the music and being still, I was in high school at the time, so I was real heavy into classical and all this other stuff. And then just hearing a lot of the musicality
Mm.
of the band. And was Shock the sole producer of the music, or did he have partners? Like, how was the music created? Because it's so rich musically.
For Sex Packets, he was definitely the main producer,
Okay.
the orchestrator of everything. But, when you say main producer, you think about it. Quincy Jones, he was the producer, but we never seen him play anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? He
Mhm.
could,
Yeah.
but he brought everybody in.
Yes.
So Shock would even use our voices as instruments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He was just a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I'm a rapper, right? And I'm just used to, give me 16 bars or 8 bars.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yo, man, I need you for 3 bars right here. And then I need you to say this. No, say it a little lower. Like really produce vocals.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people when we did I Get Around, he actually produced me doing it because, I'm from Oakland. I'm one step under Too Short.
Right. Right.
So the original version of that
Right.
was not that.
Right.
And he's like, yo, man, let's clean it up. And I was like, oh, they'll do it on the the clean version.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't we just make this the version?
Yes.
And I was like, all
Yes.
right, cool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
he'd say, change that or your inflection right here. He would do that.
Yeah.
And to get it to sound the way that he wanted it to sound to his composition.
Yeah.
Right? And he's the first person that I've seen that would, usually you watch a producer make a beat, they start with the drum track,
Mm-hmm.
and then but it's usually in a like 8-bar
Mm-hmm.
segments or sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Shock would just play for he put on the metronome and he'll just play
throughout the track.
the track,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll build around it.
The only person I know that does that and have done it for us was Jimmy Jam.
Okay.
When he played on Bended Knee, when he created it, they set the beat up, they get the basics of the track together, and they just hit record. So everything you hear, like on Bended Knee, there was no cuts, there was no, I just want to play 8 bars. He played through the whole record. So you hear it.
Yeah, and then you just build around it, right?
Yeah, he just played the piano. And that was it. And then that's the track. There's no cuts. There's no punch-ins or anything like that. He played through the whole record. That's the only guy.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
So you watching that like,
but
what?
Yeah, that's genius shit. Like that's
is.
just like guys that just are so nice with it that they don't need to do it in sections. They just play it.
And it shows you the confidence is like, look, I have this vision, this composition. He plays it in the feel, and he's like, we're gonna make the song around that.
Yes.
And so imagine that. So I would only guess that with singing it may be simpler because you have bridges and you can take octaves and do things.
Mm-hmm.
As a rapper, he would mix it in with, imagine telling a rapper, I only need 3 bars.
Right.
What?
3.
3.
That's not even even.
It's not even. It's like, give me that. Or, man, come in here. I need you to say something right here.
Yes.
Just feel it.
That's sick.
You know what I mean?
I love that. I love being around weirdos like that because it's like you get so much from what their perspective musically is that you don't even you wouldn't even think of until it comes all together. And I've been blessed to be around a lot of guys like that you just don't know where this destination is until you get there. And then you're like, holy shit, this was like, you got to trust the process.
And on that same note, whatever it takes to get what you're looking for, meaning that, I remember one time on the Body Hat Syndrome, that's the album that introduced Severe. Severe. We had a song, I want to say it was Digital Lover, but anyways, he had did the 4-track version, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we tracked it in the big studio, there was, in a 4-track, Tascam, you have the button and it kind of clips.
Yep.
And it does, certain things, and it had a sound, like a grittiness to it. And we were trying to recreate it, and he couldn't recreate it. And so he was just like, man, but he wasn't going to stop until he got that sound. So he said, you know what? Fuck it. We took the 4-track cassette and he just RCA outs into the board, and he just recorded it off the 4-track. And just did it. He did it off the 4-track. And that's why it sounds gritty like that.
That's so
because he's like, fuck it. I want it to sound like this. And he didn't care how he got it. So it didn't have to be clean or whatever. He was just like, it sounds like that coming out the 4-track. So that's what we're gonna do.
Well, let's go into that. We're gonna geek out just for 1 minute. I promise we'll go to other things. But when I first, and I think I share that sentiment with other people that heard it, the Humpty dance, right? That snare, boom, boom. Like I never heard a snare like that ever. Like I don't think anybody heard, like that's what made the record.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. Like how the hell did he create that snare, that sound? Because after a while you heard other people using it. Like Teddy Riley used it, Babyface used it. Like it was such a unique approach to a snare drum. Now, kids refer to this after this interview. Just listen to the Humpty dance and listen to how crispy, rich, and thick that snare is. It's sick. Like, how did he come up with that?
Well, before I say that, and then you go back and you guys have no idea how many records that sampled the Humpty dance. Like, Mama Said Knock You Out, samples
Right.
of Humpty Dance.
Right.
Can't Trust It, Public Enemy.
Yes.
No, Aaron Hall, R. Kelly.
Yes. Don't be afraid.
Don't Be Afraid.
Yep.
Yep. I had Eric Sermon on my show, right? And he was like, bro, we got like 20 records with Humpty Dance in it.
One of the dopest beats
Yeah.
ever created by
Portrait.
a human. That's right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of records. So back to your question, what he did was he took Theme from the Black Hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he got it and filtered it and compressed it and turned it into to that.
See, only weirdos, great weirdos think of shit like that. Because I'm telling you, that snare was utilized so many times.
It became like the late 80s snare.
Yes.
The early 90s snare.
It's one of the dopest parts of the record because it just made it stand out amongst everything that was on the radio. And already being a fan of the band, what I loved about Digital Underground is it was very it correlated with obviously Parliament Funkadelic. I heard the Jungle Brothers. In that the influence of the Jungle Brothers, like the cadence, the rap style.
Right.
You guys had such a fun outlet or outlook musically. And the fun thing about hip hop back then was, and we talked about this in previous podcasts, was that you knew everybody from their sound. Like, it's hard to differentiate rappers now because a lot of them sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
Where
biting became allowed.
Yeah. Whereas you knew Digital Underground when you heard them. You knew NWA when you heard them. You knew Big Daddy Kane when you heard him. You knew Rakim when you heard him. Like the mantra back then was not to bite somebody's style.
Yeah, you had to. If somebody was doing it, you couldn't do it. So, originally Shock told me that when he first started Digital Underground, he wanted it to be like a militant sort of group with the message, but then Public Enemy came out.
Right.
And he was like, oh, can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just how it was. If somebody was doing something, then you couldn't do it. Now you could borrow pieces of it.
Yeah.
Because, Shock will be the first to tell you that Humpty Hump is a distant cousin of Slick Rick. It has some of Slick Rick in it.
Sure. Yes.
And
you can.
It's funny that you mentioned, so you're familiar with Freaks of the Industry, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that record, how we, all of the ad-libs, like kissing on your freckles and all of that.
Yeah.
When we did that and I did those ad-libs, I was mimicking the Jungle Brothers.
Yes.
Because the way that they used to go, they used to do
you
their
hear
thing.
it.
Now, yeah, but when you listen to the record, you don't put two and two together. But I borrowed that because I was a fan of the Jungle Brothers.
Yeah.
And, and then they would turn around because, like, we were super fans. And then we were fans of EPMD. So just the back and forth that me and Shock would do. And then they turn around and then they use the Humpty Dance on a bunch of records. So it's a mutual appreciation that we all have for each other, but we also made sure that we didn't step on each other's toes and get in each other's space.
Yeah.
Because you would find your space and you live in that space.
Yeah.
And you weren't allowed to go in too deep into somebody else's space.
No.
You could borrow from it.
And that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
Like the hip hop was about originality and the ability to find your own sound and stand out and stick out. That's why hip hop, I got it in my notes. I was like, one of the reasons why I enjoy having these conversations is because I get to hear really dope stories about the moment in history. So with that, and again, before I even knew it was Bay Area hip hop, because I didn't care. Like it was just
hip-hop
music that I liked.
Right.
But the Bay was a hotbed for this movement of artists and rappers and singers and all the other stuff. I mean, not understanding that Sly Stone came from the Bay and all these, these guys. So, but the hip hop element of it, what made the Bay so prolific. Like, what were you guys on? Because I only really was exposed to it fully until I met some friends of mine from the Bay years ago. His name is Jay Valentine and the Newt family. And, you know, they were part of a group called the Neutrons and like, you know, that whole thing. But he a Bay Area dude. So shout out to the Newt family and Jay Valentine, those guys. But they introduced me to the B Legits and E40 and Keek the Sneak and like Mac Dre. Like these are guys that I didn't know about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until they exposed me to it, and I instantly got into it. Like I loved the party element, like
the hyphy movement,
the hyphy movement,
yeah.
and even before that, you know what E40 was doing, and Too Short and all those guys,
Hammer,
like, and Hammer, like we went on tour with Hammer,
Tony.
Like it was such a rich musical hotbed, like. What was going on? Right. You know what I'm saying? So what was going
on? You just go on and on.
Yeah. So what was going on in that during that time, the 80s and the mid to late 80s and the 90s?
Well, I think, you know, the Bay Area has always been diverse and about freedom of expression. Because you remember you had Cal Berkeley there with all of the protests.
Yeah.
You had the Vietnam War.
Right.
Janis Joplin and the Haight Ashbury.
Yeah.
So it was all about do you. Right. And that's why, you know, coming from the Bay, you know, you did have, you know, E40s, Digital Underground, Hammer, Souls of Mischief, all of us all operating at the same time, sounding totally different. You would never know we were all from the same area. And we were all cool with each other. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, oh, you do that and I'm part of it. Because now music is a trip because I noticed a long time ago, you know, kids, they decide that they're going to be this. But when they decide that, then everything else isn't cool.
Right.
Like they have to express that, oh, I'm a trap guy or I'm this person as opposed to, I like this, but I like that too. You know what I mean? Like they have to identify with a certain thing.
Yeah.
And then they block out everything else.
Yeah.
We didn't do that. Right. And then also, because we were in the Bay Area, like I would say for Digital Underground, we didn't have anybody to tell us or show us how to do it. So we just had to figure it out. You know, like, so if you, like you said, if you was from New York or even LA or whatever, or even in Philly, it's closer to New York.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, back then you wore the Timbo boots, you held your shit and you acted this way and you wore this chain or whatever.
Yes.
We didn't have that of saying this is the way that you're supposed to look and act and do. So we literally were just being ourselves.
Yeah.
And what you saw was really what we were.
I loved it. And I was so happy to.
Oh, Metallica.
That's right, from San Francisco. My favorite metal band.
We used to rehearse in the same rehearsal studio with Metallica when they were coming up.
The Grateful Dead is from the Bay.
Grateful Dead, Green Day.
Wow.
They went to Berkeley High.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So and what I've also.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I just got started.
No, please.
So, you know, you might have seen it that I didn't know. Mac Dre and what's the race car driver? Jeff Gordon. He's from Vallejo. Jeff Gordon and Mac Dre used to be in the same breakdancing crew.
No way.
What? For real?
Jeff Gordon used to breakdance?
And Mac Dre used to be in the same.
Mateo, your job is to find that fucking video.
Yeah, man.
He said, go look Jeff Gordon. I think he does an interview on Wake Up with Sway.
Get out of here.
You got to find it. I was like, what?
Jeff
Gordon and Mac Dre.
Jeff Gordon, you got swag. You ain't tell us about that. You just went straight redneck and went to the. Yo, that's crazy.
Right? You never know.
No, I'm telling you, the Bay was probably one of the only few places, because when we got into the business, we did a lot of stuff for K-Soul and KMEL and those radio stations. And it was one of the only cities that I saw Blacks and Asians together, like rocking the hell out.
Yep.
Like in Philly, it was a little more segregated. You didn't see that as much. So to go to the Bay and to actually see an Asian chick with a black boyfriend kicking it was a bug out. I was like, oh, wow.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cause I like how she look. Can I, you know what I'm saying? You know, that type of thing. So
Can I live here?
Right, can I live here? Like, so it was one of those things where it was like, I never seen anything like that. And we would do our little shows and then we'd get off. And, you know, it was around the time we was kind of bubbling and people was like, yeah, I love, you know, Boys Man. But then E40 would get on.
Right.
And the Click and a gang of his crew. And then the crowd did something different. And I looked out and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, what is this?
Is going on here? Like, you know, I didn't know the songs or anything, but I just, E40 was just doing his thing.
Yeah.
And the crowd was right with him, knew every word and the whole thing. And I was like, yo, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Just to see that and be exposed to that, you know, a kid from Philly.
Yeah, we definitely have our own energy.
Now, okay. Now, E40 has said this a few times, but he specifically stated this on Tell Me Where to Go. He says, I'm from the Bay where they hyphy and go dumb. From the soil where them rappers be getting their lingo from.
Of course, yep.
Okay. So I had to do the research. So what are some of the lingo, and I want you to tell me, that
I know
we adopt, that the rest of hip hop adopted that originated from the Bay Area?
Hater.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we were saying that a long time ago before it got popular. Like, you a hater? That was bro, that was in the 70s. Not like way back though.
Really?
For real. Like, you know, it's a lot like being put on the spot, but like you almost think of there's a lot of slang. You know, obviously the Fashizi and
all the
Nephew
isms,
and all of that stuff, all the stuff that Snoop adopted, but he got it from hanging with 40 and them and Rich and so it's a lot of slang. Like it's almost anything you could think of, a derivative of it. And it's because there's also, you know, a huge pimp culture out of Oakland. You know, they shot the Mac in Oakland.
Yes.
That's where, and it was real pimps in that movie.
Right.
You know, they had to get permission to shoot there, like the Ward brothers and some of the prominent players there.
Yeah.
So it's you know, we also come from like a player mentality.
Yeah.
So it's all about
slick talk.
your slang, you know, your spit. You know, so that's just we all sound like pimps, even though none of us really are.
Right. Yeah.
But that's just but our mentality is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of just using our mouthpiece to move around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And also always sound slick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make it sound sweet.
And it makes sense because when I think of like the pimp culture, even back when I was a kid, like some of the little older guys, the older brothers that I used to look up to, they had that type of, when they would talk to a lady, you know, and it was a different time because I grew up around dudes and we're no suckers. We're not sucker about them. But when they would see a young lady that walked by, they do the gentle hand grab, you know, hey, you know, holler at you for a second, you know. She act like she don't want to, like, you know, be pulled, but she, you know, pull her a little bit. Gentle.
Right.
No aggressive stuff. The brothers was gentle. They, you know, me and my little friends, our little young asses be sitting there watching, and he would be whispering something in her ear and make her laugh and glow. And she walk away with a little extra hip switch, the whole thing. And we was like, yo.
Yeah. It's magic.
It's magic. Like, what did he say? I never knew what he would say, but it would be like, yo, I would love to know what he was saying. But it was his demeanor. It was very smooth and slick, not greasy slick, but like on some, I know how to.
Smooth operator.
Some smooth.
you know?
So a lot of that, I guess, came from a lot of, I guess, the movies that we used to watch too.
You know?
Yeah. Like Superfly and the Mac and all those things. Like I would see the older guys emulate that type of thing, not understanding that culture.
Yeah, that was guys really used to
That's crazy.
Walking around, moving, dressed like that.
Now, okay, fast forward a little bit. You contributed, edited, and scripted and acted in All Eyes on Me.
Yep.
What was that like? What was that energy like?
It was
We're talking
dope.
about the film now, right?
The film. I'm speaking of. I'm sorry. I'm speaking of the film.
The double
All
disc
Eyes.
album.
Yes, the album. Obviously, Tupac, but there was also a film of the same name.
Right. Yeah. Shout out LT Hutton.
Yeah, LT Hutton.
Putting that thing together.
Yeah.
First of all, it was amazing to actually play yourself 20 years later.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, shout out to LT pulling me in. But it was like walking down memory lane for real. Because they did, and I know whatever the reviews that the movie got, but they really worked hard on trying to get everything as accurate as they could. So a lot of the what do you call it? The scenes that they would set, they look just like the what we remember. Like, our scene was at Starlight Studio where, we were recording. If you've seen the movie, the scene where we're in the studio, bro, it looked just like Starlight Studio.
Wow.
They rebuilt it just like it. The clothes we would wear, they would consult with us. Like, we wasn't wearing, Cortez and, whatever it is.
Right.
Down to the detail of what our Digital Underground banner looked like at the time. Go back and recreated it. So as much as they could, they recreated all of these scenes from our life that I remember. And I'm like, wow, it looks just like it.
Authenticity is everything.
Yep.
Especially when you're documenting something as important as hip hop history, because a lot of things can get lost in the sauce and diluted. So you want to make sure that those people that live that can see a mirror basically and see exactly what it was. And that's what those movies were made for. It's to capture a moment in time. So people that went through it can go back and go, wow, I remember that.
And in the movie, Young Hump, who's in Digital Underground, and we played Digital Underground in that movie.
Yes.
And we didn't go together. He just happened to get the role, and I happened to get the role.
That's crazy.
And they didn't even know that we were a
That's
group.
crazy. That's crazy.
Ain't that crazy?
Don't you miss the 80s and the 90s in hip hop? Don't you miss it?
I do.
You got a little sad right there. You saw that?
Yeah. No.
It like strikes a nerve, bro.
No,
yeah.
The reason why I bring it up is because, and again, people can extrapolate on what they think the greatest era of hip hop is. And I think personally, being a hip hop kid and a hip hop addict, we all grew up when it was born and we saw it evolve and change into what it is now. But that era, that golden era of the 80s leading up to the 90s was, I believe, the best era of hip hop ever was because of its bravery of really just doing things for the love of it before it became completely commercialized and people started getting their grubby hands on.
Before it became a $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, don't you miss it? Don't you miss the intent and the importance?
Yeah, I miss the authenticity and the appreciation for the culture. That's what's missing. Because a lot of people, and I say that at the same time, I enjoy a lot of music that's out now, right? But
we're going to get in that too.
They're, and I want to say, so it's funny because we talk about hip hop because I say it changed right around 2002-ish when after 50 Cent came out and that record, and then there was another record that came out right around that time, but that was when labels started looking for the mimic of that, when it started to be accepted. Because before, you had to get a deal, in the 80s and 90s, and you had to have something original about you to get on, because like you said, it was for the love and the appreciation. But then when it became a $1 billion industry, those companies just wanted the next $1 million. So if something made 10 million, they needed to find something exactly like it. And there was a lot of people that didn't care about the culture, that just wanted to get a piece of that.
You know what I compare it to now, Sean?
You know what I mean?
Is the NBA. It's very cookie cutter. Get the bag, rest, take the nights off. You know, it's not as grimy. We're talking about hip hop. Hip hop was grimy. It was about perfecting your craft, battling each other, that competition. Even when you go back and look at, you know, all the big rivalries with Jay and Nas and Pac and Big and whoever, it was really about competition.
Yeah, it was that too. But, you know, I also wanted to mention, like I said, that, you know, right around the early 2000s when it flipped and switched. And, you know, I guess I get to be the interviewer now because I noticed in the 90s is when it changed in R&B, because there got to be a point. I noticed when I couldn't tell the difference between a Paula Abdul record and a Janet Jackson record, or whoever was popular, because the production was the same and then they would make the singers sing the same.
Interesting.
And I started to lose it for R&B per se. And then I think probably you guys and a few other groups were kind of like the last of that. Maybe. You know, and I'm generalizing, but I do know there was a point after when the New Jack Swing era came and Teddy was producing everybody. Then you had what's his name? Johnny Kemp just got paid Friday night to Keith Sweat. Like you could interchange those dudes on any of these records because it was all the same. It was Teddy Riley or Babyface producing everything.
Sure. And
you just kind of dropped whoever the artist, whoever their new singer was, drop them in, and I couldn't tell who was who.
It became a factory.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, that's the way to just do it.
Yeah,
it became a factory.
Yeah,
hip hop became a factory in early 2000s.
Yeah, because again, the money culture took over. Like the industry, I don't think the 90s rivaled any other decade specifically in the music industry as probably the most lucrative decade in history. Like
everybody was making
money. We were getting budgets for videos for $2 million.
Right.
Videos.
Yeah.
This wasn't even like this was just a music video.
Hype was doing movies.
Yes, practically. And it was so much money being made. Like it was fucking ridiculous. So everybody wanted in. And everybody was just trying to figure out new ways to make more money.
To get it.
And it got out of control. I consider me and the guys joke, with the exception of obviously not just us, but the groups of that era. You know, we call ourselves the last of the Jedi. Because after us and after that era, things started to change into what you were speaking of, as far as it really becoming a cookie cutter, image driven. Because let's face it, Greg put on the nose because of image. Like, so image always plays a part in music.
Right.
But it didn't, like, it didn't circumvent, like it kind of, it was even.
Yeah.
One didn't overshadow the other. The image is what drove the music, but the music was still quality. It was still good music. Like it wasn't just strictly based off of this guy walking around with a glasses and nose or whatever. It wasn't a gimmick. It was still very enriched and infused in good shit.
The art was the art.
The art was the art.
Right.
It's just like Parliament Funkadelic is you know, you see a guy walking around with a diaper on, but he's playing the hell out of a guitar or a saxophone. It was still funky. It was just the image of it that's just made you watch, but you still listened and you still got quality, which is why people still listen to it today. But no shitting on the new artists. I want to ask you, being from the Bay, what new artists can you put us on that give you that feeling that you think is like, that you would tell my audience that, yo, these are some guys or girls that you should look out for?
You said new artists?
Yeah, just people or
Or
new
people
meaning,
that are rocking right now.
Yeah.
Right. So like you got it's funny, like I wouldn't necessarily say P-Lo is a new artist, but you know,
been
he's
around
rocking.
for a minute. Yeah, he's been around for a minute.
He's been around for a minute, but you know, representing the Asian community.
Yeah.
He do his thing.
He's
dope.
Filipino, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Larry June,
June.
La Russell.
Yeah.
You know, Larry June and La Russell are, to me, both of them are like the progression and next iteration of Mac Dre's flow.
Okay.
You know, they both use his cadence and flow. And it's you can hear it, but it's dope. It's not biting it.
The Russell's dope.
It's just it's being inspired by. You could tell where their influence came from, heavily influenced. Larry June, I think Larry June got an album with 2 Chainz. You know what I mean? Larry June doing his thing. The guy out of our crew, Essential, he's got like a new movement going on. You got Lil Mikey TMB. Now it's funny because there's a production team out of the Bay called The Mechanics. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They produce anybody that's come out of the Bay, anybody that you can name.
Okay.
They've produced them.
Okay.
You know, your Mac Dre's, Too Shorts, E40s,
Got you.
E-Legits, Jay Stalin. You ever heard of Jay Stalin?
Yes, I have.
Jay Stalin, Keek,
Rapping Forte.
Forte, RBO Posse, of course, are pioneers for San Francisco. The Jacker, rest in peace. But they kind of, and 4 Racks from The Mechanics, he's from the Digital Underground camp. He's our DJ and he produced with us. Okay. So even DU was still got our hands in even like the newer movement. Yeah. And when I want to know what's happening now, I can go to them because they're the factory, they're the house for Oakland and the Bay. Like if you anybody, you got to get a Mechanics track.
I love the Bay.
Come out of there.
I love the Bay music because it's still geared for dancing.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not just head bobbing or just posing in a club. Like again, I loved the area because people still actually dance.
Oh yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
Even if you on some gangster shit, you still dance.
Yes. It's fun. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
We always gonna have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Now, give me your top 5 favorite Bay Area rappers. Give me some.
Top 5 Bay Area rappers.
Yes, sir.
Too Short. Number 1.
He's a king.
He's been around forever.
No, he's the godfather.
Yeah, we had La Russell on another show we do. He said that Too Short used to pimp his aunt. Correct, Mateo? Yeah. He been around for a minute.
Oh yeah, Too Short. That's the OG right there. 5.
Take your time.
Take your time.
And just because I know he got a movement now, Casual from Hyro.
Okay.
From Hieroglyphics.
Okay. Yeah.
Casual, he killing right now.
Is Del from the Bay or is he from
He's
LA?
from Oakland.
He's from Oakland.
Yep.
Okay.
Del's from the Bay.
Is he really Ice Cube's cousin?
He's Ice Cube's cousin.
He really is Ice Cube's cousin.
He's really Ice Cube's cousin, but he's from Oakland.
Okay, he's from Oakland. Okay.
Yeah.
Love Del.
Yeah, Del used to rap with my godbrothers. I've known Del since he was young.
Yeah, Del can spit.
I was going to put Del in there, but how about I just put the whole Hyro crew? You know what I mean? So Too Short, Hyro crew. I mean, Saphir was a beast.
Saphir is crazy.
Right. I mean, probably got to give it to 40, right?
Got to.
And then,
get up to Earl.
Right. But I like Be Legit. You know, I'm a super fan of Be Legit.
Yeah.
I just love the way, I love his cadence and the way he rock. You know, of course, you're going to throw the Mac Dre's in there.
That's 5, right?
Yeah, but come on, wait a minute.
Right. Let him
No, I'm just saying.
That is 5. But go. Do your thing.
Bonus ones?
In the Bay, we do it different, man. Your 5 is my 7. See how we make it sweet?
Yeah. Go in.
Go in. Shock G is doing 7.5 artists.
Right.
Yeah,
7.5.
7.3.
Right. 7.3.
7
All
and
right,
a third.
7.3. Let's go.
You know,
7 3/10.
Now, I want to give a shout out, not from the Bay Area, but, you know, Planet Asia from Fresno, which is Central Cali. I love Planet Asia. So shout out to Age. Bro, I know I'm missing something, but
you are. But it's okay. This is your again.
That's just who came to mind. So it's more than 5, but that's just who right there. And like you said, LaRussell's killing it right now.
LaRussell's killing it.
He's killing.
Let me state this disclaimer for those who are probably going to bitch and moan under the comments to say, well, you didn't mention this guy. You didn't mention it's his top 5. And again, we throw these things out off the cuff. Yeah. He might have thought of something different if he had time, but the point is
well, no,
this
10
is just,
minutes later, I'm having a, this is
right.
So what you should really call it your top 5 right now.
At the moment. Right. Top 5 at right the now. Moment in real time. I know I'm missing it.
But here's the thing. This is what I know. No matter when you ask me top 5 rappers in the Bay Area, Too Short is always going to be there.
For sure.
At number 1. So
you're a legend, man.
That's where usually I'll leave it there and just be like, Too Short is the beginning of it all. You know, without Too Short, there's no Bay Area rap scene. You know, because he's the first.
I got a question.
To really put it on.
Interesting.
How did Same Song come about? How did Pac end up on that record? What's the story behind that?
Remember I said we brought him on tour with us. We were on tour when we got asked to do that song for the movie, Nothing But Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were on tour, and I think we had like a break between it. And since Pac was already on the road with us, he was in Digital Underground.
Right.
So he included him and left him, 8 bars to do it. Because I still have the cassette that Shock sent us with him talking. We're like, okay, man, this is where you're going to go right here.
Crazy.
And this is where we're going to do this. And Pac, now you go right here.
Crazy.
So we had that, right?
Yeah.
So we recorded the song. It's in the movie. We went back out on the road, and we used to say our verses to Same Song as like the extended version of the Humpty dance. So at the end we do the Humpty dance. And we're like, y'all want us to keep going?
Right.
And then the instrumental would keep playing, and we would do our Same Song verses off of that. And so that's kind of like how we got in the groove of performing the song. We were performing the song before it came out, just over the Humpty dance beat. But the reason that Pac was on it is because he was on the road with us at the time.
Yeah.
And we had like a break, maybe a 2 or 3 weeks break.
Yeah.
And during that time, we went to record, and Pac was a part of it, right? And of course, that was the first time that the world heard him.
Yeah.
That was his first time on vinyl.
He killed it.
Whatever.
Playing around with the underground. Yeah, he killed it.
So that
he killed it. No, it's funny because me and Pac used to always argue like whose verse was the best.
I'm just saying the fact that it was his.
Don't.
I'm just saying it was his debut.
Don't try to backtrack.
I love this verse on Same Song.
You killed it too, B.
Yeah,
you did your thing.
But I think so. During that writing session, it was intentful that he was going to have a verse on that record.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, you want to get on it. It's though we got the. Shock was requested to do the song for Digital Underground to do it. Mm-hmm. And he said, all right, we're doing this. And did you ever see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
So the character that Dan Aykroyd, he plays like the B3 organ.
Yes.
And so that was the only thing. It's like, well, he plays a B3, so can you add some B3 in it?
Right.
And Shock was like,
yeah.
what do you mean? Of
Shock
course. Yeah, so he killed that.
Yeah.
But it was just like those open bars, it was predetermined and intended for all of us to be on that record.
Let me add a note that Money B mentioned that the Humpty Dance was probably one of the most sampled tracks or drum tracks ever. I think in second place was Do What You Like. I hear that a lot.
You know what? It's funny because I've heard people tell me and I can never hear it.
Yes.
And then somebody said, that's the Do What You Like.
There's a group called Another Bad Creation.
I know Another Bad
That was part of our crew.
Yeah.
That Dallas Austin used that particular track.
See, I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah.
Sean's like a jukebox. Like you could just say any song. Watch, give him a song, and he'll start singing it. Like
wait, don't put me on the spot.
He got the melody.
I'm about to say, I go deep.
We randomly gave him some songs the other day, and he was just off the top. He had the melody down. He was already. I'm like,
well, no,
this
it was funny
guy's
because,
different.
Like I'm telling you, like a lot of these songs sampled the Humpty Dance, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I was in the car, with my younger son. like the one I said that plays football.
Mm-hmm.
When he was like 3 or 4, we riding in the car, and Mama Said Knock You Out comes on.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, Dad, that kind of sounds like your
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't hear that.
Yeah.
And he peeped it
Yeah.
like, right away.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That's crazy.
Let me again give y'all props on really putting, I guess you could say, in the ethos, a quality of music that will last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't just, I mean, I know you guys didn't think of this as you were doing it. You guys were just doing what you felt.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, that's where the greatest music comes from.
Mm-hmm.
The most organic, most pure soil, where it grows into something more beautiful than probably what you even predicted or could have projected. Like, again, coming from the East Coast and hearing that album, just that one album, it blew my mind. Just to hear the richness, the audio quality, the care that you put into it. It made me, as a future songwriter and producer, reach for that type of just that type of texture.
Yeah, it was expansive enough to know that you could also reach further
Yes.
than that. Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't have to stay in a box,
Yeah.
per se.
So again, we're big on this show to give flowers.
Yep.
And you don't understand how much Digital Underground and, as we've all learned, the Bay Area has contributed to music globally. From Digital Underground to Too Short to Metallica to the Grateful Dead to, and I know Jimmy wasn't from the area, but I know he spent a lot of time in the Bay.
Yep,
So
Sheila E.
E.
Like a lot of Prince's musicians later on were all from the Bay. Bonnie Boyer, who was the singer on Diamonds and Pearls and all of that.
Yes.
She sang on Kiss You Back.
How about that?
Yep. That
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now I hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, sing it, Sean.
So they
Jukebox Sean, go ahead.
Right. No, but so again, this is a very important moment for our viewers because they get a little glimpse of where a lot of their favorite songs and a lot of the influence came from. And believe it or not, it came from the Bay. So I just In Vogue from the Bay, exactly.
Yeah,
so
Thomas McGraw.
Right. So again, this is dope, and I learned a lot from this. So
one more question before you wrap, Sean, because I think I Get Around is one of my favorite music videos. Just the energy in that video. Take us back to set up like the video. Like, where was it shot? What was
a lot of ladies in that video.
Yeah, it was just like, Pac was just, he was like a little kid running around and his boxers just like, what was that video like?
Well, when we did that video, I would say that day was the funnest day of my life to that day. You know what I mean? Like that night, that was the funnest day of my life up till that point.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun.
It looked like it.
It was like, bro, we just had a pool party and a video broke out. That's really what it felt like.
Wow.
It's like we weren't even there to shoot the video. We just was there kicking it. And every once in a while, they'd be like, look at the camera.
How about that?
and do it. But yeah, it was fun.
No.
What was the shot at?
Super fun. In Malibu. But okay, so here's a fun fact about that, right? So it was shot at a house in Malibu, and the house was owned originally by some guy, this real estate mogul, whatever, and he had all of these mansions. But this one particular mansion, so the story is he had this housekeeper or whatever it was, or somebody that took care of the house, and an Ethiopian woman.
Mm-hmm.
He gave her that house.
How about
and
that?
she's the girl in the video that's playing tennis.
Oh,
I think
really?
the Ethiopian girl.
Yeah.
That was her mansion that we were in.
How about that?
If you go back and look. And then at the end of the night, her and Shot connected, right? And I just remember I was in a club in LA maybe 10 or 15 years later, and I seen her. And as soon as I seen her, I knew who it was.
Mm.
And she was like, hey,
Wow.
what's up with Shock and all of that.
Wow.
I thought that was crazy.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That.
Another fun fact about, so the girl that's in the hot tub with Tupac with the silver thing, that's the same girl that was in Rump Shaker video with the sax.
How about that?
You know the one I'm talking about? You just see her silhouette?
Yes.
That was her.
Back then, I'll say a little fun fact too.
Uh-oh.
No, well, it's funny because
keep it clean.
No, it's clean. It's clean. It's clean. But I will say that video, especially back then, some of the girls were in other videos.
Yeah.
So watching
Video
that
vixens.
so watching that video for the first time, me and the guys was like, oh, that's
you're like, yep.
Oh, that's
Larry
Parker's. We was at.
It was like that.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I remember her twice. I remember her about 2 or 3 times.
I'm telling you, back then,
listen.
It was a great time.
So so the funny thing about that is, so at the end of that night, we were all supposed to go out. And all the girls was like, where we going? We going to party and kick it. And there was a couple of them was like, yeah, we want to hang with you.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, all right, we about to go. But we were staying in Hollywood at whatever hotel we were staying at.
Was it on Sunset?
From
Was the Hyatt on
Malibu,
Sunset?
whatever it was. But driving from Malibu.
You had to go over the hill.
Over the hill. It's like
sure.
about an hour and a half drive or whatever. And we drinking all day. And so I was like, yeah, bro, it's, her and her. We about to do everything. And I was like, all right, let me go. We going to change. And I told my brother, I was like, all right, we're going to meet back here. I was like, all right, let me just lay down for a second.
The lay down for a second. We know what that means.
Like, you missed everything.
Woke
I'm gonna lay down for a
up,
second.
the next day, I was like, no. You can hear me back in Malibu. One of them, like Home Alone.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like,
I swear I got one more because my brain is going crazy because you said something. Give us your favorite moment with your guy, Tupac, that like behind the scenes, like a moment you and him had together that was just like, it was like a brother moment.
Well, when we were on the road, we were roommates, right? So, but he was just like super, like, what's the word? Sloppy is the word to do it. You know what I mean? He just come in, blunt wraps, wherever he rolled his blunt, the ash is there.
He's busy.
Come in, he just throw his... No, that's what I say. Like later on, you realize he didn't have time for that. He's just super focused on whatever. But it used to just trip like, bro, you so pick up. We all pick your stuff up, or at least get it on your side of this.
Right.
The whatever. But I think probably my favorite, and you can call it favorite or my favorite experience is just being in the studio with Pac, because he was just like laser focused. I've never been around anybody that was that driven before. Like just, like he could write a song in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Hit the blunt a couple of times, 5 minutes later, got your part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the very first time that he would say, you get your lyrics and you're like, okay, like, and you're trying to work it out, he would spit it as passionately the very first time that he would do it. Spit coming out his mouth and everything.
Yeah.
Just doing it.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, let's do it. And he'd go. That's why he was able to write so much music and so many songs, because he was just super quick and he was just super driven and focused. And I've never been anybody that was that just had work ethic like he had it.
Yeah.
He had super work ethic. And I would say that I've been blessed to be around that, and then to be around Shock, who was the same way when it came to music and mixing. Like when it was time to mix, you had to be quiet, you know what I mean? And he could hear, like if you walked out the room and you touched anything by half a dB or panned anything, he would hear it. So wait a minute, that's not, I didn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just being around both of them, the process of making the music, to be around that, it kind of makes you that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that's how, you see that's how it's done, or at least that's how people that do it well do it.
That's a whole lot of genius energy, though.
Yeah, it is. And you adopt some of it. Of course, I didn't get it all,
No, no.
but
no,
I got
brother.
some of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
I saw it, but then the curse of that is, I know I can see it when people don't have it. You know, when people tell me they want it or that they're working, I'm like, you're really not.
Yeah.
Like I've seen what real work looks like.
Yeah.
You're not
I
driven. You're not working. I hate to have to tell people that.
No,
sometimes.
I hate to say it sometimes because I sound like such an old fart.
Yeah.
But the truth is that just like you said, when you're around greatness, you can instantly detect the opposite.
The opposite, right.
So it's hard to see the music industry go the route that it goes and not take it personal, because you were around Pac and Shock G and all of these great, incredible artists and musicians and rappers and songwriters and stuff like that. And I was blessed to do the same.
Yeah, the same.
So it's hard to know what the process of making, like, and not saying that they intended to do that, but to some degree, I guess you could say through alchemy they did. Like they just knew what would connect with humans, and they just made it happen. And I'm sorry, but there's no comparison. There's no comparison to the people that I was blessed to be around and to see what they do. Yeah, the baby faces and the David Fosters and Teddy Riley and all these guys who will have discographies that will last 3-4 generations after they're gone. Like it's hard to really pinpoint the same work ethic, or rather the same workload with these newer people. And I think a lot of it is because, and how about this, just to bring it around, I blame myself because it's up to us as the OGs,
the elder statesmen,
to expose them and to show them whether they want to learn it or not. Because whether or not you acknowledge this, kids, you will be my age one day.
Yeah, always.
If you're blessed enough. Yeah. And the truth is that you're going to have to teach the kids that are going to call you OGs what it takes to live long in this life in the music business. So we have to do better as far as just showing them, not taking away from what they do, because they do things on an innovative level. They take what we do and they change it.
And they do a lot of things that we can't do.
That's right.
And that I'm amazed at some of the things that they're
100%. And it's awesome. But to take that and to say, okay, kid, that's good. Now, this is how you make it last this long.
Right.
And that's where we come in. And that's all we want to do. We just want these kids to have long lives in this industry and not last, as I like to say, just for 3 summers.
Yeah. Like you I always tell people, you'd rather be called an old rapper than an old janitor that used to rap. That still that wanted to rap.
That part.
Or whatever it is. I'm not shitting on nobody.
I know what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying?
And they know what you're saying.
Because if you're old at anything that you like to do, that means that you were successful doing it.
Yes, sir.
And that you were able to continue living out that life that you love living, per se. You know what I'm saying?
What is your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant? It's tough. I like home cooked meals.
All right, cool.
Cook.
Your kitchen.
Your kitchen. All right, cool. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Kitchen.
All right, cool. So
what's yours?
Yeah, what's mine?
Yeah.
Well, I think we all like home cooked meals, but I mean, dude, it depends on the vibe. I love Asian food.
I was going to say it's not exactly the restaurant. I love seafood.
Okay.
And I love Asian food, like
it's a lot of great Asian places in the Bay.
Japanese food. Oh man.
Yeah.
Korean.
Yeah.
Thai.
Yeah.
All of that.
All right, cool. So let's just say, for this conversation, you're at home having a home cooked meal, right? You hear a knock at the door.
Who is it? Look at my ring.
Yeah, look at your ring. It's a younger version of you.
Uh-oh.
He's been looking for you. He's been trying to glean some insight on what it is to be an older you, what to look forward to in the future, what he should do to get to where you are now, alive, healthy, and still very prominent in life and in the music business. So he sits down across from you and grabs some of your home cooked meal and he's eating. What would the older Money B tell the younger one?
I would keep it short. I would say, most of all, stay consistent. Whatever it is that you're doing, believe in you before you rely on somebody else to believe in you. Because, there have been a lot of times where, believe it or not, I stopped because I just didn't believe in it. And then I picked it back up. But imagine, okay, me sitting here right now, imagine if I would have just consistently kept doing it. And it's not just in music. There are other business ventures or ideas that I had. And, let's even go to podcasting. I had a podcast in 2008 when it was only on Podomatic, before this whole podcasting thing was even happening. I did it. There was no streaming, no anything. And there were some reasons why, but I stopped. Imagine if I had just kept doing it, where podcasting is right now, where I potentially could have been. So I would just tell my younger self, believe in your ideas, and no matter what it is, just be consistent, because consistency really, I'm not going to say it trumps talent, but certain things.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you might not even have the talent yet, but if you believe in it, you'll, stay consistent with it. If it's something that you really want to do, you'll get the information and you'll learn it and potentially will become talented at that. So my piece of advice is just really would be to my younger self, stay consistent. So,
Jordan wasn't Jordan until it became Jordan.
Yeah. And he got cut from his...
Which made him Jordan.
Say what?
Which made him Jordan.
Yeah, it's not about, and I tell my son, bro, it's not about how many times you fall. It's like how many times you get back up, because you're going to get knocked down plenty of times. We don't care if you get knocked down, but if you don't get back up, that's when we start looking at you crazy.
Yeah.
You got to keep getting back up and, believe in yourself. Nobody's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. That's our whole thing as far as with music. If I'm listening to one of your songs, I need to believe that you're feeling this pain, that you're going through it. As a rapper, I'm telling you a story. Everything I said in Sex Package, you thought I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was, but but if I wasn't,
right.
At least I made you believe it.
Well, I believe it.
Well, okay, no, example, Sex Package, right? It was a concept album. Mm-hmm. People really thought that there were sex packets out, but we purposely went out. We made pamphlets and was passing them out in San Francisco, around the strip clubs. We were consistent, and we're going to make people believe that this is a real thing.
It was a lifestyle.
We came up with the whole Smoothie Smooth was the doctor. We did a video, everything about it. We created this world where it was all real. And and even Humpty Hump being two people, Humpty and Shock. Yeah. You couldn't crack us. People pull us to the side. Hey man, is that? I'm like, what you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, I just saw what?
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, you just gotta, poker face.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself and stay consistent. That's what I would say.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Oh, wait.
What? Okay.
I got a question.
Okay. Hold on. Go.
I got one.
Okay.
Because I'm. He's my guy. He's my guy. But and I've always been a huge New Edition fan. What was Biv's role in the making of you guys' music?
Integral. Like it was a huge role. He played a huge role in our being who we are, because a lot of people didn't understand who we were.
Right. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Break it down. Like, did he?
Yeah, I mean,
was it you guys?
like,
Because he's being all vague.
well, first off,
he's talking about
like,
Michael
was it your
Bivins.
image?
right,
Did he make the beats?
No.
What the hell is he doing?
Okay. Well, first off,
What the hell did Biv do?
First off, let this be proof positive that Money B has a future in podcasting.
I mean,
again.
yeah, like I said,
So we just gonna throw that out there. All right. He's already on it.
I'm
he's
a natural.
Yeah, he's
Don't worry about it.
he's a natural inquisitor. But yeah, Biv came up with the songs. Like he came up, like Biv will do, for example, like
Give me a song and tell me.
Yeah. Biv would come from tour with Bell Biv DeVoe, check on us in the studio with us in Dallas, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey man, I want y'all to come up with a record called Motown Philly and leave.
Oh, really?
And we'd be like, okay, so we need to come up with this concept. Great. So me and Nate, Dallas had the track, me and Nate wrote it.
Mm.
And interpreted what Motown Philly meant to us.
Mm.
Like we were signed to Motown and we were from Philadelphia, two very influential musical cities
Right.
that had its day
Philadelphia
and kind of fizzled,
International.
right,
Yeah.
and kind of fizzled out a little bit. You know, music changed,
Mm.
but now it's back again. So that's where the concept of the chorus came back, Motown Philly back again.
Mm.
So it's those two powerhouses of music resurging again through us.
Oh.
So and he came up with that with the idea with little information,
Yeah.
but we kind of understood because at that point we were locked in with him.
Yeah.
And we wrote that record.
And then he say, "Where are these sneakers?"
Yeah. No, yeah. No.
Yeah, like, these are the hot shits right
one
here.
of our profound moments was when he took us to the department store, and because he didn't want us to be in like starter jackets and caps and stuff like that. That just
You
wasn't
gotta
our
fit
thing.
for the video.
So yeah, it just wasn't our persona.
Right.
Like we were these studious music kids that studied Vivaldi, Bach, and Brahms.
Mhm.
So we weren't these typical ghetto kids.
Right.
So he said, you guys should do this. So he took a character that I used to watch in All My Children named Alex Vanderpool. They used to wear sweaters and bow ties and glasses and kind of nerdy and geeky because we were kind of nerdy and geeky.
Mhm.
So he was like, y'all wear this. So he just he threw us in these sweaters and all these crazy colors. And
Mhm.
I remember walking down Sunset and we were looking like fucking clowns, like, you know, on this thing, and people were honking the horns and laughing at us and everything. We was like, I don't know, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And then we walked up to Motown with the same outfits on. They were like, I don't think this is gonna work.
Right.
But we danced, we sang, and even after that, the label was like, I don't get these kids. But whatever, I guess we're gonna promote them because our president signed them.
Right.
And what they didn't understand was there was something behind us
Mhm.
that through Biv and his creative mind and him believing in us, he said, this is what y'all gonna do. And from song one, which was Motown Philly, the world fell in love. And
He had the vision.
he had the vision.
He just kind of
He was a great visionary.
gave the blueprint.
He was a great visionary. And he put all of that together
Mm.
and made the persona of us with the bow ties and everything. And lo and behold, after that, you saw dudes with ties coming to the shows with the jorts and the Converse sneakers and everything. And every once in a while, you'll see some adults still do it, like come to our shows with the whole
Nice.
thing.
Why not?
Yeah. And even like you'll see nods of it. I think it was this show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Mhm. Yeah.
where you saw the four characters, Danny DeVito in sweaters singing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye with the hat.
Turn.
like he gave us a persona that
Yeah.
when you see that, you know exactly who it is.
There's a reference
Absolutely.
point. Yep.
Yeah.
You
Because if you
understand?
see somebody else dressed, you know who they're dressing like.
Exactly.
That's that. and
It's
that's
like
the
Michael Jackson with the sparkly
ultimate
glove.
compliment with the nose.
Yeah,
Whatever it is.
right. Or Humpty with the nose. Like so it was the same thing. And Biv was a very, very integral part in who Boys to Men is. And we'll always give him that prop.
That's dope. I always wondered. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, no, Biv believed in us when nobody else did.
Yeah.
And he said, look, these guys got something. And fortunately, at the time, Gerald Busby, God rest his soul, was president and gave Biv his deal, trusted in Biv. So he was like, okay, I'm going to do this, but they better go. And thank the Lord it did.
But you see the power of the belief, right?
That's
because
it.
he believed in it. That's what I mean. Like, you have to believe it.
And we were young, dumb kids
Because
that
a lot of people
was
won't.
like, fuck it. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. And
Trying to get on, yeah.
Yeah. And we went like all in. And it worked.
Yep. Similarly, because Shock had some wild ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he'd have an idea and you just go like, all right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to go with it. You may not get it. You may not understand it.
You don't have to always get it either.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to have the faith.
Got to have faith in the person.
In the person that you're rocking with.
And that's all we needed. Mm-hmm. And that's how Boys to Men got on. Now, we took the ball and ran with it.
Yep.
But he gave us the foundation. And that was that, man.
Get around. The underground just don't stop for those who get around. We go round and round, round we go. Step up. What's up, love? How you doing? Well, I've been hanging, singing, trying to do my thing. Oh, you heard that I was banging? Your homegirl you went to school with, that's cool, but did she tell you about her sister and your cousin thought it wasn't? See, weekends was made for Michelob, but it's a Monday, my day. Just let me hit it, yo. Don't mistake my statement for a clown. We can keep it on the down low, long as you know I get around. We go round and round, round we go. And the underground just don't stop for hoes that get around. Hey. Step up, round and round, round we go.
All right, I'm gonna try Pox.
Go.
Back to get wrecked. All respect to those who break their neck and keep their hoes in check. And yo, they sweat a brother majorly. And I don't know why the girl keeps paging me. She tells me that she needs me, cries when she leaves me, and every time she sees me, she squeezes me. Lady, take it easy. Hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy. Hey, yo, bust it. Baby got a problem saying bye-bye. Just another hazard of a fly guy. You know why it don't matter? My pocket's getting fatter, and everybody's looking for the ladder. And ain't no need to being greedy. You want to see me by my beeper number, baby, when you need me. And I'll be there in a jiffy. Don't be picky, just be happy with this quickie.
Be happy.
When will they learn? They can't tie me down, baby doll. Check it out.
I get around. Step up, step up, step up.
Round and round, round we go.
We get around. Guess what? The underground just don't stop for hoes. I get around. Step up, step up, step up. Round and round, round we go. Yeah. Round and round we go. Yes.
Hey, just gonna do the cool fade.
Nice.
We had to get that off.
That was it.
Let's get it.
Thank you, brother.
I already know. That was it.
This is wonderful. Thank y'all so very much for hanging.
Yes, sir.
On that note, another great episode. We appreciate you checking it out. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, push all those buttons, and tell your friends about this. This was a beautiful episode and it's a beautiful time.
Check your boy out.
Yeah, please give them all of your socials and all that.
Yeah,
good stuff,
what about
brother.
Twitter, Instagram? What's the other one? TikTok.
Yeah.
At MoneyB69.
Yeah.
Of course, on Facebook for my old heads. Digital Underground fan page, the Money B fan page. You definitely want to check out dumerch.com or digitalundergroundtshirts.com where you can get your official Digital Underground merchandise. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on that hat.
Get that. Look out for the new Tapioca Tap to Play project.
Okay.
I definitely got to give you a demonstration about this. This is the future of music and actually getting back to what do we call tangible products and tangible music. You know what I mean? Now you tap to pay, you tap to play.
Ooh. Let's go.
Standalone platform, all exclusive Money B and Digital Underground content. The new album, the new project. Analog Wishes, Digital Dreams.
Amazing.
You feel me?
Make sure y'all stay tapped in. Money B, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him one more time. We'll see you on the next episode. Love y'all. Hey, y'all, and that was On That Note. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, here's a couple more videos for you to check out. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.